and they set about doing that. Now you can go onto Google. If you Google Caen Hill Locks Canal, you will see that the locks were in disrepair. The gates were hanging off, and it looked very unkempt and unloved, and well, it was, but it's been fully restored. The Queen officially opened the refurbished canal in around 1990, and now every summer, when it's not, even when it's raining like today, people will go along the canal, travelling from the Thames down to Bristol at the heady speed of between 3 and 4 miles an hour. Going on a holiday barge is true relaxation, because you're not going at any great speed. Now, this navigable set of locks from top to bottom takes about 2 hours to get through manually. I've seen people actually do it on their own, button attached. I'll come back to that in a minute. Here's the Caen Hill Canal, the Caen Hill Locks Flight. Feast your eyes on this wonder of waterways. 16, there we are, 16 locks built so that boats can climb a steep hill. Notice the clever way the side ponds, and we'll look at the side ponds in a minute. But you can actually volunteer to be a member of the Canal Trust. And to give you a map, this is, you're looking at the fence, I'm going to go down a bit. This is a map of the waterway, and I'll post a map later. Okay, now, when the lock was open and fully functioning, it needed a lock keeper, and that across from us is the lock keeper's cottage. And again, that went into disrepair, but 3 or 4 years ago it was taken over by an enterprising young lady, and is now, well, it's a loved cafe. It's an asset. When you actually come down, walking down here, one of the things you can do is stop off for coffee and cake or lunch, and very welcome it is too. It's been reopened, and it is very successful. Now, whilst they're reconstructing and rebuilding a canal, every gate now has a wildlife area, and we will, as we're actually going down here, see the wildlife. So wildlife preservation was at the forefront of their minds when they did this. So you do realise, of course, that I'm walking downhill at the moment, down the locks, and because I'm walking downhill I can go at a reasonable speed, but when I'm coming up I shall have to climb this same incline, and that may take slightly longer. So I decided in filming this to actually walk down, because you don't want to hear me puffing and panting walking back up. Okay, now, as I say, it is a nature reserve, and it's accessible to wildfowl. It's also accessible to people too, and tourists come here just for the walk. This is a great place to come out and walk, and there are footbridges against most of the locks, so you can cross the other side, and you can see you've got a path which has been cut through the middle, and then surrounding that is the countryside. Okay, so there we have it. Proof, if proof were needed, we actually have wildfowl living alongside the Caen Hill Canal, and each of the locks has one of those. Okay, so you can hire a barge 3 or 4 miles an hour, and you can come on the Caen Hill Canal, and probably costs, if we say $1,000 for a week, then we're not going to be far out. But it is a great way to relax. The game plan is that you set off in the morning and you do as many miles as you can during the course of the day, and then you moor at the canal side, and most people moor outside a public house. Because of the navigators who built this in the 1700s, pubs have spread up along the canal to serve them, and the pubs are still here. So in the evening you actually moor up at a pub of your choice, and you then go in and enjoy your meal, and then you go back to bed. on the boat, and you're in a different place every day. You can tour a different town every day, a different part of Wiltshire. England is fortunate. There is a network of canals, and you can see boats on here that have come from the north, from the Midlands and from the south, because all the waterways link, and you can travel the length and breadth of England just on a waterway. Okay, now what I'm going to do, because there's nobody going through today, you wouldn't expect anybody to want to go through in this rain. They're probably moored up at the top and at the bottom. And it's just a beautiful, oh, there is somebody coming up, that'd be good. It's just a beautiful day, and you can see the locks. And if I go this side, let's go around, you can see the trees as I go around here. Here's the lock, and it's waiting for a boat to actually come up, and then once it's up, the water will fill the lock, the boat will rise, and then it can go up to the next level. So in this way, two boats can go up and down at the same time from one level to another, and you can see the sequence of locks. As I say, it takes about 2 hours to actually go through this. There are two ways here. I've taken my hood down, it stopped raining. There are two ways to get here. You can walk as I've walked, or you can drive by car. And you could drive by car, park in the car park, and go straight to the cafe. Okay, but we're not doing that. I'm doing a walk before I go to the cafe. Oh, I'm going to the cafe, don't worry about that. They have some beautiful cakes and some cappuccino with my name on it. Okay, so we have here somebody who's actually going to come up, and as if magical, what will happen is that we'll see this boat rise in the lock. Now you can see that there are 3 people at least involved in bringing this boat up the lock, and you can see if we go down here out of their way. That the boat is slowly rising. So the water is coming in from the top, it's filling the lock, and the boat is rising. Now you can see there are steps that people can climb to actually get off the boat, up and down, and takes us on to the next lock. So this lock at the moment is closed, and take you a close look at the lock. So you need a key to operate this. The key goes, or a handle with a key, it goes on there and you wind it round. That winds the thingy, we'll call it a thingy, and that opens the gate. And in a moment you can see this boat is actually rising as the water flows in from the top, and it's slightly, well, it is ever so slightly diagonal at the moment. Ideally it should be straight, but these guys know what they're doing. I mean, they've got through so many locks so far. Okay, I'm going to continue my journey down the locks, and I wish them every success in getting through. I was getting some looks then, so I thought it best to actually move on. Again, we have a nature reserve at the side of the lock, and we've got seagulls there today. Even on a summer's day, this is a very peaceful place to walk. Canals are used for recreation now, the boats, and for walking. It's just amazing to have such a wonderful method of travel coming through and close to Devizes. This is about 2.5 miles from where in Caen I live, and I've walked those 2.5 miles to actually get here. Didn't film the whole way because I brought you to the interesting bit, hopefully. Okay, and I was going to say Schwäne there, but we have swans. And you can see the swans and birds flying over, and the bridge. And it's just so peaceful. Okay, so we now know there are 16 locks, thanks to the information board at the top. There are 6 above, that makes 22, and I think there are 7 below, makes 29. So that's the largest set of locks in the UK, and quite possibly the largest set of locks in the world, unless you know better. Now, I'm going live today from my mobile phone with my gimbal. This video will play on Amazon Live on Wednesday. If you're watching live at the moment on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, or the websites, then thank you. I can't see your comments at the moment, but I will reply to them once I'm back on dry land. Now, each of the assets is numbered. This is lock number 38 on the Caen Hill Canal. Okay, so I'm going to switch to the side now because I want to photograph the scenery, not the people. So switch sides and we're actually going down. The left hand side of the canal, and I can see a few more people ahead, and over in the distance are the towns of Melksham. I'm just going to keep going. Okay, if you have questions about the Caen Hill Canal or about boating, then please do ask them. I'll try my best to answer, as I say, when I get back. Now, the technology behind this is Switchboard.LIve, and Switchboard.LIve is taking the signal from my phone and automatically posting it out to 10 destinations on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and the website, and all that takes place automatically. I was fortunate to buy Switchboard.LIve on an AppSumo deal, which means that I don't have to pay anything ever again. I can just use it, and I do enjoy using it. I use it when I'm on my walks, like today, and on all the broadcasts that we do during the week, apart from the broadcasts afternoon on Amazon Live. Okay, so we're now down to lock 36. I have to say I'm quite enjoying broadcasting on Amazon Live, and it's proving to be quite rewarding. Now, I always use 2 things while I'm out. One is my my Fitbit, which is counting the steps that I do. It's no idea where I'm walking, it just knows that I'm actually moving. And then Map My Walk, which gives a map. You can, if Angelica can actually track me on Map My Walk, and she knows exactly where I am now. And that's on the premium version of Map My Walk, which from memory is about $10. You can actually give permission to your partner and others, if you wish, to actually follow you and follow your journeys, so that Angelica at the moment could see me on Facebook, and she could see where I am on the map. I'm probably round about, and my phone may tell us, I'm probably about 3 miles outside Devizes now. And again, it's beautiful. Oh, there we are. How's that? Beautiful wildlife alongside the canal, because they don't get disturbed too much. I mean, there are only so many boats can actually go up and down, and today we've only seen one boat actually going up the locks. Okay, so 34. Hope you're counting with me. More swans over there. So that's the second pair of swans that we've actually seen. And we've seen the ducklings earlier. And I think there may be another boat coming through this lock. Yes. And we can actually see the lock gates open when they push in a moment. Just waiting, the gate on the right hand side has been opened, and now we're waiting for the gate on the left hand side to be opened, but the water will flow through. I don't think they really need to open the second gate. Obviously it would be faster if they did, but they know what they're doing. So the water level is now falling from the level that it is there to a level that it is down here. Okay? Right, so I'm going to switch hands and we'll go down the left hand side of the path again. Try to. It's probably difficult enough to get a boat through a lock. What you don't want is people filming you when it's a wet, miserable day. I'm not about to ask anybody. Perhaps when it's a sunny day, I will make this walk again, and I will ask permission to actually watch somebody going through one of the locks. Let's say it takes 2 hours to get from the White House you see at the bottom, pan round slowly, up all those locks right to the top. So carry on our walk as we go down. Hello! Hello! That stick's yours. Okay, so carrying on, go back to the centre of the path. Okay. You can see this path is maintained. It's been widened so that it is wheelchair accessible, and in fact one of the volunteers who looks after the Caen Hill Canal, and the phone's moving from side to side, I want it there, has a motorised trike that he can ride from one end of the locks to the other to actually keep an eye on everybody. I mean, basically there are volunteers, and those volunteers help people go through the locks, because it is a arduous journey to actually get all these locks working, and you can't stop in the middle. Once you've started going up, you've got to go up to the top, otherwise you'd hold everybody up. So you go into a lock, you sail for a little bit, and then you go into the next lock. Just like video people, there is a community of people who are on the boats, and they all help each other. Right, I think this is the final. There we go. And no wildfowl on there, but when this was re-engineered, they really did think about the countryside and the wildfowl that actually live alongside. Okay, so we're coming to the end of this stretch of locks. Hope you've enjoyed the journey. This is Stephen in Wiltshire in England. This is Devizes, Wiltshire. This is Caen Hill Locks. We're down to lock number 29, and I'm going to carry on for a little bit, probably until it starts raining. This is nowhere near as bad as when I went to Stonehenge in the rain. Devizes in the rain I can live with, because I mind the mud. I'm not too far from home, hopefully. But the mud is getting claggy. Okay, so let's go slow. If I fall, then the camera will fall, so I'm wary of that. Okay, so yes, can we make it through that quagmire? I don't think, hang on, let's see if we go this way. Okay, I've got this far. I do have some grip on my shoes. There we are, we've navigated it. Okay, so all is well. Okay, I'm going to switch hands and go over to this side. Okay, so I said earlier, this is Caen Hill Flight, and there are times when you can go through. You've got to be clear by 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock or 4 o'clock, depending on the time of the year. And it said at the bottom there, no mooring between locks 29 and 44, so you cannot stop. The waterway bylaws prevent you from actually stopping. As we get towards the bottom of the locks. Now people cycle along here. It's a great cycleway. As I said, it's 87 miles long, and you could actually cycle if you wished from Bristol to London just on the canal. Now there is what hopefully will come back next year, an annual canoe race which goes from Devizes along the Caen Hill Canal to the Thames and all the way down to London, and it takes them 2 days in a canoe to actually get to London, and it's very spectacular. Okay, so this is another lock. This one is right up against the bridge. I would say that the lock came first, the bridge came second. Okay, so the canals came before the roadways. There's probably, I don't know, I'll have to check that. Okay, and the bridges are numbered as well. Now I'm going into a tunnel now, and it's only a short tunnel, as you can see, and there's water in the tunnel, but I'm going to try. Let's see what it looks like. It looks pretty deep from my side. Okay, right. Okay, let's go back, because that is not navigable. Well, it is, except I would have immense wet feet. So I'm going to pull over to the side, and you can see a beautiful shot of the locks going right up to the top of the hill. And it was built to bring a barge from the top to the bottom, and it just simply brilliant feat of engineering, and in use every day apart from closed season. You've seen people who actually live along the canal side. Okay, so discretion is the best part of valor here. I'm actually going to go to finish this. I'm going to go up here on the path and over here. Closer look at the lock before we end this broadcast. If you're watching this, thank you. If you've got any comments, I'll get to those when I finish the broadcast. If you are watching this on Amazon Prime, thank you for watching on Amazon Live and Prime. And I'm just going to go down here. Okay, one hand to steady and then go round. Okay, so you're walking with me, and I'm going to go across the bridge. Okay, so across the bridge, but we've got water there, so let's right. Okay, with this view of Caen Hill Locks, this is Stephen. I'll leave you for now. Take care, enjoy the weekend, and goodbye for now. Bean